Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Monday, June 6th. So last evening we had the moon in Leo go void, of course, making its way into Virgo energy. We will be locking into Virgo energy very early on here this morning at 2:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There are 8 different aspects taking place here today, and 6 of them involve the moon. The moon in Virgo is an earth energy ruled over by Mercury, who is now direct. The air energy of Mercury has us very stimulated in our mental plane, analyzing the details of past experiences, analyzing the present moment details and information coming at us in our circumstances in order for us to fix, to solve, to reorg, to restructure our current vibe, our current emotion, our current realm. The earth energy keeps us very present in the here and now, focused on the here and now. However, our mental plane is processing information, past, present, and future at a very rapid rate. With 8 different aspects taking place here today, we are trying to get our emotions in check. We're trying to kind of use our mental power for good instead of evil, because the Virgo energy tends to be very over-analytical, very judgmental, highly critical, especially when it comes to oneself. So right out of the gate, we have the moon in Virgo bumping into Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. And Chiron is in Aries energy, highlighting for us our identity, our ego identity, where it is that we've created some wounds, mostly because of the detachment, the stripping away of the things that are no longer serving us, and left really kind of at a state where we have to reinvent ourselves. The moon in Virgo, very grounded, very practical, very analytical, is looking at what is triggering us, what is bothering us, what is really frustrating us, in order for us to analyze that to death, to make sense of it, to rewrite that pattern so that we can solve this problem, we can fix it, we can heal it. The Virgo energy is highly healing energy, but it comes from the logical, practical mindset, first and foremost, on the here and now, the physical realm of the here and now. We have to consider the fact that Virgo energy sits across from Pisces energy. Pisces energy is very healing as well, but it's on the soul level, on the emotional level, on everything outside of the here and now. So we're on this healing axis. The moon, of course, is our emotions, our unconscious self, and Chiron is illuminating to us where it is that we're feeling uneasy so that we can really analyze this to death, pick it apart, see if we can come up with some kind of solution. The sun in Gemini is going to sextile Chiron shortly after the moon bumps into Chiron, which illuminates for us what it is we need to do from here. This is like our, the sun is a bright light. The sun is trying to show us where it is that our focus is needed. And in Gemini, our focus is needed on opening our minds up, on learning something new, on examining the possibilities of the future. Again, debating the pros and cons. That Gemini energy is very dualistic, very polarized. And this Chiron energy, again, the wounded healer, wounded, yes, but the healer energy comes in because we have the resources, we have the wisdom to heal the wounds in which we acknowledge. The sun sextiling Chiron in this way is going to illuminate for us where it is that we do have the desire to learn. We do have the desire to push ourselves in our uncomfortability so that we can solve this issue and actually move on. This pushes us to take a good look at the bigger picture that has already transpired behind us. Again, doing a deep dive in our psyche, in our emotions, in the situations that have already popped off to see what it is that actually created the wound and where it is that we can actually heal it. This is going to illuminate for us a different kind of confidence. It's like renewing our spirit so that we can kind of look at where we're being offered a new path, a new mission, a new purpose. And, we had the new moon in Gemini just last week. And if you haven't listened to the ascension forecast for the week, we went into a little bit of depth on where it is that we're currently at in the cycle, and being in Gemini season and being in the lunar cycle of Gemini from that new moon, we are really, debating the pros and cons of our choices, of our decisions, of our commitments, of the paths, of the direction that we actually want to take here. So this is going to be a good energy, a good vibe, because it's going to help us kind of identify where it is that we want to go from here. Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure and money, in her place of power in Taurus energy, grounding us very much in the here and now, focused on our physical bodies, our physical circumstances, reliant on our five senses in order to bring in the data, the information, the energy of our physical circumstances to let us know where it is that we're uncomfortable, where we're kind of not stable enough, not feeling safe, not feeling secure, not feeling happy, not feeling the joy or the happiness, in order for us to realize what it is that we need to build in order to fill those voids. Now, Venus is going to semi-square, which is a little bit of a tension point, a little bit of a conflict, with Neptune, who is in Pisces. Now, Neptune in Pisces rules over our dreams, our intuition, our higher self, the metaphysical realm, if you will. That's the light and fluffy part. The cons of that is we can fall into delusion. We can fall into mysticism, wanting to check out from reality altogether, where we put the rose-colored glasses on and avoid the truth, avoid reality. So we are going to have to do a little bit of a deep dive here to make sure that we're trying to stick to the lighter vibrations that this particular aspect is going to offer. What this is going to present us with, first of all, is a high probability where we just aren't focused on the details, where we're just glossing over our issues, trying to make light of them, trying to romanticize them. Why? Because we don't want to deal with the weight, with the depth of some of the issues going on in our lives right now. Again, choosing to put on the rose-colored glasses or bury your head in the sand. Again, wanting to escape. The Neptune and Pisces energy is the escape artist of the zodiac. We want to run, we want to hide, we want to numb. And that's not such a good thing. This is giving us an opportunity, and it could go one of two ways, where we either are so far into la la land where we're imagining the best case scenario for ourselves, or we choose to dive into la la land imagining the worst for ourselves. Now, there's a high probability that, we fall into this little negative narrative for a little bit of time, where our doubts are coming up, where our insecurities are coming up, where our fears are coming up, and revolving around the issue of our own self-worth, our own, let's call it, lovability in a relationship. The insecurities, the uncertainties around, what it is that would make us happy, what does bring us joy, what would be pleasurable at this particular time. And let me just remind you that the uncomfortable parts are 100% needed in order for us to be serious enough to gain clarity on what it is that we need to do in order to bust away from these not so nice thoughts and feelings that wash over us, that feel very intense, that we just are tired of experiencing. So again, we always have the opportunity to tap into the pros or the cons of these energies because it is a semi-square. It is a high probability that it will be harder to align with the positive aspects of what these energies could present us with. But nonetheless, it is temporary. This too shall pass. So the moon goes ahead and bumps into Mars. And this is a positive aspect, which means that we are digging ourselves out of this slight little funk very quickly. We are bossing up. We're tapping into the warrior spirit energy. We are tapping into the boldness and the bravery that we need in order to heal these certain aspects or do what needs to be done in our physical lives to take action to make sure that we are overriding this storyline, this system, this timeline, that we are essentially building the bridge to get us from where it is that we're at to where it is that we want to be. What I will say is although Mars in Aries, in its place of power, is all full of fire, is all full of motivation and inspiration and determination, all of those are the positive qualities, the line between passion and anger is very, very thin. And sometimes we need to tap into that anger, that frustration, in order to actually have the energy to make the changes in our life that we know that we need to make. Now, the moon in Virgo, like I said, is constantly trying to analyze, constantly trying to logically and practically, strategically come up with a plan that's going to fix and solve some of our problems. And this particular aspect is actually a good indication that we're going to come up with at least step one to our plan to get us from where it is that we're at to where it is that we want to be. Right after this, the moon is going to bump into Pluto, the great transformer, who is retrograde. And this is honestly a very positive aspect for us to recognize that we are going to shift. There is going to be a change. We are going to muster up the courage and the bravery, not only in our physical form, but first of all, in our heart space, in our head space. There is going to be a indicator, a validation point in the run of our day where we are taking a step forward, where we are seeing the path to change kind of unfold for us, reveal. Now, may I remind you, a baby step is still a step forward, right? Take the baby step. As long as it feels good and it makes logical sense, if you're gifted with the opportunity to make a move and step forward in a brand new direction, take it. That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. With the moon in Virgo and with this Pluto energy, this is a very intense, analytical, obsessive, laser-focused aha moment going on in structuring the plan, in structuring the strategy, the direction, and moving forward. We could even get caught up in some really good, but very deep and intense, obsessive thinking on how it is that we're going to solve our problems, on how it is that we're going to break free from some of the restrictions that we're currently facing. And it will lead to aha moments that are going to create a great change. The moon will be bumping into Jupiter in a way that suggests that we are going to be gifted with an opportunity to move forward, an opportunity for us to grow, an opportunity for us to initiate a brand new path. Jupiter, of course, in Aries energy, just wants to move forward, to create something new, to begin a new cycle, to rise above the obstacles, the challenges that we faced in the past in order to create a silver lining out of something that was dark and funky. And this particular aspect does suggest that there will be an opportunity in our physical situation and circumstances where we are taking that baby step forward. That's great. We're going to be able to see that there is a way out, that there is a strategy, that there is a direction for us to be moving in. The moon bumps into Chiron, the wounded healer, which suggests that, guess what? We're coming up with solutions. Guess what? We are healing some of our frustrations. We are healing some of the wounds that we kind of examined earlier on in the day. We are taking a good look and refocusing our energies on what it is that we can build from here, out of the frustration, out of the disappointment, out of the wounds, the pain, the suffering that we have endured. This is a good sign. And we wrap the day up with the moon bumping into Mars, which is going to amplify the earlier situation and opportunity for us to take a move, for us to take an action, for us to make that baby step forward. Now, the moon and Mars in this aspect, again, we would love to think that we're going to keep it in the high vibe of inspiration, motivation, determination to go ahead and blaze a path forward. But let me just be clear, we could tap into the anger, to the frustration that we have about our current circumstances, and that could be the catalyst to actually light the fire under our ass in order to take the action and make the moves that we have to make. The moon and Mars, it's a fiery energy. We are recognizing where it is that, you know what, we're just frustrated. with our circumstances. There has to be a change. And again, many of us would really enjoy to see the big picture and the full strategy on paper to see how we're going to end up to the end goal. But many of us have to learn how to trust the process and just to identify where it is that it's safe to take one step, where it is that we're being validated in making one move. And all we have to do is recognize that we have choices, we have opportunities. And again, the opportunity should always come in the form of asking yourself, does this bring me closer to or further away from where it is that I desire to be?